Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rambling RunOff. I am your host, Robert Rios. Yes, we are back to you on the ones and twos for Rambling RunOff. We got another exciting show of sports news to go around with you. So I hope you guys are buckled up in your car, seated at your couch with a cold beverage of choice. And yeah, we have a good show for you, as I said. And joining me this week once again, and I believe, is it 5 weeks in a row now? I think we have Mr. Danny Tan. Danny, tell the people what's up.
What up? What's good in the hood?
No, yes. It should be another action-packed show again. Danny, how are you today?
Doing pretty good. Had a busy day today, but yeah, good to be home. What about you, Robert? How you doing?
I mean, it's been okay. I mean, it's still been kind of rainy, a little chilly around here, but I'm just hoping for a good recording today.
Yeah, definitely.
What you been up to? Any golf?
No golf with the rain. Hit the driving range.
Alright,
which is pretty fun. But yeah, I found my my basketball stroke. So I'm glad to have that. Hitting very consistent shots and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get into what I've been up to in a little bit, but just for the people who know, on tap for today, we're going to go over the end results of the Gala Plant and Benavidez fight. Then we're going to go over some USMNT news that just happened. We had 2 games that came around with the U.S. men's national team. Then the warm-up, Danny's going to be giving us some NBA whip-around coverage of whatever is popping in the NBA. And then in the rundown, of course, we have a multitude of different things. So please stick around for the rundown, and we'll dive right into that later on in the show. But I'm glad you mentioned about the golf range. I also went to the golf range.
Oh, did you?
Out there in the OC.
Oh, yeah.
There's like some range where you hit golf balls into water.
Oh, interesting.
It's semi near the Disneyland Resort.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it was cool. I liked it. I was actually hitting them pretty good, surprisingly.
Wow, we gotta hit the course together then.
No, yeah, of course. So we'll try to plan something soon. But yeah, it was cool. Maybe I think I'm better than you now.
There's no way. There's absolutely no way. You can put your money where your mouth is?
I mean, I can, because I'm gonna go 2 for 2.
Oh, here we go.
Danny Tan, listen up, everybody. Danny has to take a shot.
Yeah.
Because his beloved Alabama failed to make it and win the March Madness final.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping, I was praying, but man, literally none of my teams made it past the Elite 8.
Well, sucks to suck.
Seriously, it does. But congrats to those teams who made it through to the Final Four. So sad that Gonzaga didn't make it through, but let's see who wins it.
No, yeah, I know. We'll get to that a little bit in the rundown as well. I want to know who you think is going to win it towards the end now, with the Final Four already coming to us this week. So stick around for that. But Danny, are you ready to get down and dirty in this business?
Let's hop into it.
All right. Speaking about getting down and dirty, we did have a loaded, action-packed fight over the weekend, which included Caleb Plant and David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. And unless you do not know, I will break you the end results, in which, after 12 rounds of action, Benavidez had his hands raised by unanimous decision, taking home bragging rights and his WBC interim super middleweight championship. And like I said, the win was by unanimous decision, which having the three judges score him 115 to 113, 116 to 112, 117 to 111. And going over some details, Plant did go off a little bit strong in the beginning, utilizes his large presence in the ring to stay out of danger and lash out some quick shots and jabs and combinations on Benavidez in those early rounds. However, Benavidez was more efficiently passive, than his usual style in those beginning rounds. I unfortunately was unable to watch the fight, but luckily our residential combat enthusiast Danny Tan was able to witness this fight. So Danny, can you tell me and let the people know, what did you think about this fight?
I think this is one of the most disappointing fights that I've ever seen. Maybe I hyped myself up on it too much, but for a super middleweight fight, this fight was extremely disappointing. Caleb Plant came out strong. I like that he pushed Benavidez back in the early rounds. I like that Benavidez was a little more respectful. He really thought about everything that he was throwing out. He really thought about what Caleb Plant was doing. I think he might have given him a little too much respect. He probably was right on the edge of a knockout a couple of times. There was one sequence in round 8 where Caleb Plant got a little hurt. I thought if Benavidez was his normal, go at it, ferocious self, he would have grabbed a knockout there. But Caleb Plant was very disappointing to me. It felt like he had a game plan, but I don't know where it went wrong. I think he just gassed himself out. There wasn't enough stamina, and I think David Benavidez, he left some in the tank to make sure that he had enough in the later rounds to go 110%, but he didn't even need it. He kept some in reserve just in case Plant had something in his back pocket, but there was no need for it. All he had to do was just make it to the end of the fight, and he already knew he had a majority of the rounds won already. And by round 9, the fight was his, unless Plant was able to knock him out. But this was an extremely disappointing fight for me. I expected more from Caleb Plant, and this really sets him back for what his ultimate goal is, which is a rematch with Canelo. So we'll see where he goes from here. I think this gives too much confidence to David Benavidez. Now he's gonna go and talk trash to everybody, and I don't know if he'll be able to back it up, but this is gonna give him the green light to disrespect and have the confidence to disrespect bigger fighters who have a little more training and discipline than Caleb Plant did in preparation for this fight. So I wish Caleb Plant had won. This is horrible.
I mean, I know we did agree. We had an agreement on who was going to win this fight, which we both thought Caleb Plant was going to win. I did find it interesting that you said that Benavidez, saved some energy for the later rounds in the fight, which we did take note prior in our preview of this fight that Caleb Plant's most recent wins have been early on, mid rounds. So I'm pretty sure Benavidez was ready. He's like, all right, at some point Caleb Plant's going to turn it on. I just got to make sure to duck, dodge, and run when that comes. And I guess you could say from the highlights I saw, that's what he did. And I mean, kudos to him, because if not, then what was he going to do? Just take all those hits and lose in the 9th or the 10th round? I don't think that was going to be an option for him.
Yeah, he had great head movement. He had great anticipation for Caleb Plant's early aggression. I think that was the only way that Caleb Plant could have come into this fight. If he did not come out strong, David Benavidez would have felt comfortable. He would have sat himself in the middle of the ring, pushed Plant to the end, to the corners, to the ropes, and he would have been in the same place that he was against Canelo. He would have been backing up constantly. When he tried to establish himself, it was already too late. He had lost the mental fight against Canelo, and Canelo had control of the whole ring. Anywhere he went, Canelo, even if he was backing up for an instance, Plant had already lost the mental fight. And it's good he didn't do that in this fight, I should say. He established himself. He gave Benavidez reason to respect him. But I think in the end, he just did not have enough left in the tank. I think Benavidez, even though his punches seemed pretty short this fight, normally he does those hooks and uppercuts that he tosses his whole body into, up, down. He loves that left, right, left again, and then looks for an overhand if it's there. But I didn't see him throw too many of those, but the ones that did land on Caleb Plant seemed to really hurt him. I think it was in round 6 that Benavidez hit him with a left to the body, and it really hurt him. It was, I think, the first time that in that fight that Plant had to back away from pain. It was pretty obvious that as soon as he hit him, he took 2 steps back, and Benavidez, I think he had to catch himself saying, "Oh, he backed up. I've got to move forward." But that props to Benavidez's his training camp. They taught him a little bit how to be a little more tactful, to really sit and think about what you're doing. He heard him. He didn't run right into it just in case it was a feint, which out of the Caleb Plant has the wherewithal to feign an injury and then counterpunch against Benavidez. But props to Benavidez, learning how to restrain himself a little bit and reserve some energy for the end, for what I hoped would have been a slugfest, but turned out to be a pretty slow fight, which I didn't really expect.
I mean, you are correct. It did catch me kind of off guard looking at the highlights because in the beginning they didn't touch gloves. The ref was trying to forcibly have them touch gloves, and they both pulled away. Like, all right, we're in for a doozy, and then you kind of get not a slugfest, but you get a strategic battle. So like, it's not that it was. I wouldn't say, in my opinion, it was like a terrible fight or a boring fight. It was like a semi-anticlimactic fight in the case that you had these two guys that have had beef in and out of the ring, and then they both come in like smart about it instead of just like throwing haymakers, which is what everyone kind of wanted and expected because that's what they were kind of promoting. And at the end of the fight, they were like hugging each other and shit, like, "Oh yeah, good job, bro." Like, what? But yeah, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I think you touched on it last week where, this is what happens for every fight almost now. It's all this talk, all in between, sell tickets, there's a bad guy, sell tickets, and at the end, they just hug it out. It's all for the show. So it's kind of, they've kind of learned from wrestling where you need a heel and you need someone to root for, and that's what's going to drive up ticket sales.
I mean, well, that is true. There has been cases of those, but I think more it's promos. There's promotion. There's a build up to it. There's a storyline in quotations. But yeah, I don't know. It's just that's the way it is nowadays, kinda.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there would be more fights like it was a super featherweight fight. It was Julio Chavez Jr. Versus I forget his name. Chocolatito. It was, 2 veteran fighters. This was maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. 2 veteran fighters fighting at, kind of their heaviest, which is still really light because they're on the smaller side. They give respect to each other, talk a little bit of trash here and there, but when they got into the ring, their hands were quick. They were throwing. Nothing was restraint, or they didn't have any really restraint. It was like a heavyweight fight slugfest with 2 lighter guys and the hand speeds of 2 smaller guys. It's probably one of the greatest fights I've ever seen that I didn't really want to watch. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't on my I need to watch this. Ended up watching the fight. Incredible fight. I hoped we'd get some version of that here. Plus the trash talk and then kind of a satisfying end to it. But, to me, this was an incredibly boring fight. Benavidez, I think, like we talked about last week, if Caleb Plant didn't knock out Benavidez, Caleb Plant lost this fight. Just the optics of it. And he ended up losing to decision. But this really sets him back for that Canelo rematch. And now Benavidez has more experience. He showed people that he can be tactful. He can come in with a strategy and execute. And now he's gained more confidence. What do you do to a guy who is already confident when he had nothing to stand on? Now he has something to stand on. And his head is as big as the world, plus the moon, plus the sun, you've created a monster.
He was already a monster, the Mexican monster.
Yeah, hence his nickname.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you said about where his headspace is at. Some notes that I was able to pick up on. By retaining his interim WBC title, Benavidez holds a place as one of the undisputed champions. A place as one of the undisputed champions, Saul Canelo Alvarez, mandatory challengers. Benavidez was quick to say that he wanted his shot at the undisputed champ. And quote, "I have a lot of respect for Canelo Alvarez, but he has to give me that shot now," Benavidez said. "That's what everyone wants to see. Let's get in the ring in September." So, Danny, do you think that fight's going to be done for September?
I think there's almost zero chance that it's going to happen this year. I think Canelo is going to make him go through one other fighter to get to him, the same way that he was going to do to Caleb Plant. I don't know who that would be right now.
I saw something earlier. I don't know if it was like an old video, but he was challenging one of the Charlo brothers, and I think somebody else, but I can't recall who it was. I don't know if it was old or not, but it just popped up on my social media.
I think that was older, because I think both Benavidez and Caleb Plant fought one of the Charlo brothers. I can't remember the older or younger, but they both fought them. And in fact, in one of the pre-fight interviews, whatever, they were talking trash to each other, and they said, I think one of them said, "You didn't hurt the Charlo brother." Another one said, "I did," back and forth. I think they both won by KO, just in later rounds, or TKO, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't name who Canelo would make Benavidez go through first, but I think Canelo, last year he had like 5 fights. He had like a crazy amount of fights last year, right?
In very quick succession.
Yeah. So I think this year he's going to take it easy and set it up for a bigger fight next year. A bigger undisputed champ fight both ways, so that it'll be the fight of the year, So, we'll see. I hate to say it because Benavidez is such a trash talker, but he did really well this fight. I like the restraint that he showed. He still had those power punches in between. He still had the hand speed. I would have liked to see him use his reach a little more in this fight. I think Caleb Plant did a really good job of closing the distance. It's a small 2-inch reach advantage, but I think if he had used that reach a little more effectively, Caleb Plant would have been gassed in round 4 with how aggressive that he was. And I think Benavidez would have ended up with a knockout in the later rounds. But, this is what happens. This is kind of what Caleb Plant, I think, wished happened with him and Canelo, where Canelo came in strong. Benavidez gave him some respect, right? Sorry, Benavidez gave Plant some respect. And in this case, it was flipped. Plant was in Canelo's shoes, in the center of the ring, controlling the fight in the early rounds. But Benavidez turned the switch, kind of figured out Plant, found that he was being gassed, or he was running out of gas, and took over and won unanimously. Whereas in that Plant-Canelo fight, early on, Canelo had the hold. Plant tried to come back in the middle rounds, but by then, Canelo had already taken too many rounds, and he himself was still, too tired to come back and finish the fight. And he needed a knockout at the end, but Canelo was strong, finished strong, and won that fight. So, Caleb Plant really needs to learn for this, and I think he needs to take a hard look, and really he needs to knock out the next 6 fighters, come back, fight probably Benavidez again in the next year and a half or so, and then see where he's at if he wants to challenge Canelo in maybe like a year and a half or 2 years from now.
Okay. I have a quick question. Can you confirm that Plant took a knock or a dink to the head where he started bleeding?
I don't remember what round it was, but
I think it was
he had like a small cut.
The 8th round, according to my notes from the wonderful CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, wasn't a small cut on his cheek.
Let me see. What did I put down? Problems with the ref. Benavidez's patented approach, as I wrote down, slowly chipped away at Plant before fully taking over the fight, starting with a big flurry that hurt Plant in round 8. Plant may have actually escaped being finished in that round thanks to help from the referee Kenny Bayless, who was a source of controversy, for most of the fight, issuing several warnings to Benavidez while never warning Plant for excessive clinching. With Plant hurt and Benavidez looking for the finish, Bayless halted the action to allow the referee to check a cut over Plant's eye. That was the result of an accidental clash of heads. Given the extra few moments, Plant was able to survive the round, but he never truly got back into the fight, according to the article. So, do you think that had anything to do with it? Like, he kind of caught his breath because of that break because he had to cut, or no?
No. There's no... I mean, this was really every chance given to Caleb Plant. Like, he got time to rest. He did... he was gassed. When you're gassed, you hug, you clinch. You try to give yourself some time to recover. The refs knew this.
That's what I'm saying.
Say that again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
that break that the ref gave him, like, helped him out a little bit. If not, he would have been donezo.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was already done. I mean, with all this help, he still lost the fight.
I mean, he would have got knocked out, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. I don't know. Even if he was gassed, I think it would have taken a little bit more from Benavidez, a little more damage up and down, to knock him out. But yeah, he definitely got some help from the ref. I don't think it was. I mean, every big fight now, it's rare when you find a ref that really lets the fighters go. Yeah, I didn't really see it too much as them favoring Plant. I think it's the safer thing to do in that situation where the exhausted fighter starts clinching. If you let it out, then stop your punches from both sides. I think you hurt each other, but I mean, then again, this is a professional fight, and I did want them to end, or I did want the fight to end in a knockout. I don't know, man. Yeah, I didn't have a huge problem with the ref this fight, but I was very disappointed in Caleb Plant. I don't know. Maybe that's overshadowing everything else that I saw in this fight.
Oh, okay. But going back to your earlier point on when these fights are gonna take place, I was thinking maybe seeing Canelo take one fight himself and have Benavidez take another fight, and basically those two fights will determine like how bad do they want that Benavidez Canelo fight.
Yeah.
Because Canelo's last fight was the killer one, right? With the Plant one?
One more time?
What was Canelo's last fight?
Canelo's last fight? That's a great question. Canelo's last fight
I think it was the Plant fight.
No. I think he fought...
Because I think that would, like, figure this whole thing out. Danny Tan, expert researcher for Rambling Runoff.
Quickest Googler.
Going on to the internet, looking for an answer that we did not take note of earlier. But yeah, from the highlights that I was able to see, it looked like
his last fight was against... This can't be right.
Yeah, it was Caleb.
Gennady Golovkin. Triple G?
No.
Who is this? It says... Oh, that's 20...
Dude, you're tripping.
Wait, what? It says 2022, September 17, 22. Triple
Danny
G.
Tan.
I don't remember this fight. Was this an exhibition?
Oh, he fought Dmitry Pival.
Am I tripping?
Hey, he fought Dmitry Pival.
But that was the 5th of...
That was 2022.
Yeah, 2022. But it says right here, 2022, September 17th, Golovkin. Unanimous decision. Sorry.
That can't be right. Yeah,
Wait,
I
what?
do remember Canelo lost in... Yeah, it was in December 2022.
December of 22.
You're tripping.
Am I tripping? I don't remember this fight at all.
Yeah, I know. Cause remember that he had like 3 fights in
September. I think this is wrong. I think this is 21. I think it was September of 21, the last Triple G fight, right?
Yeah, that Triple G fight was like years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, boxing in 2022. Dimitri Pival's upset of Canelo Alvarez.
Okay. Yeah. Excuse me.
Or
I
whatever
mean, thrown
it
for a
was.
loop.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they've got it wrong on this website. But it says the next fight against Sean Ryder to take place May 6th. Yeah.
Well, if anybody knows the correct timeline, 'cause we weren't prepared to look at Mr. Canelo Alvarez's boxing career, let us know what is the correct order, and we'll figure it out later. Leave it in a comment below somewhere.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we're gonna have to see them both fight one more time against other opponents and come back to see this.
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I think Canelo is ready kind of anytime. We'll see how he does against Sean Ryder. I don't think that Canelo will have any problem against basically anyone in super middleweight. But we'll see what he really wants to do because he is getting older. You know, the more fights that he takes, oh, wow, wait. I'm seeing that.
I think it was the Triple G fight.
I think it was?
Yeah, I think he lost to Pavol first, and then he fought
Triple G?
Triple G again.
I don't remember watching that fight at all. Do you remember watching Triple G again last year?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, at the WBC convention on November 15, 2021 in Mexico City, the WBC approved the request of Alvarez's trainer and whatever for basically to fight this fool. I'm trying to see like a day. Yeah, the first fight would see him returning to the lightweight division on a May 7th bout.
Oh, man.
And then, yeah, I think he fought.
September. Wow, man.
I think so, yeah. That was in the same
Damn,
year.
this must have been, I don't know, I'm tripping.
I mean, we can figure it out later.
I must have watched this fight. Did we even talk about this?
Probably not.
We must have.
And we must have been on break at the time.
Oh, my God. I mean, Triple G Canelo, I must have watched this fight. But...
Yeah, he fought Plant first in 2021. Then he lost to Dimitri Pivol in 2022.
In May of 22.
And then he fought
Triple G in September? Dude,
yeah.
Wow.
Cause remember there was that one fight where Canelo picked up a guy? I think it was the Pivol fight.
Oh, yeah. It kind of like body slammed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that one then. But good thing we figured it out. Good job, Danny.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'm tripping because that feels like years ago. This last Triple G3.
Yeah.
I thought this was in 21. This is crazy. I'm throwing for a loop right now. All right, let's get out of this boxing because I'm in another time zone right now. I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, hopefully we get to see Canelo and Benavidez come around and see what's popping, and hopefully there's a better fight. But just to wrap it up a bit, go over some other fights that occurred that day. There was a Cody Crowley defeating Abel Ramos via majority decision. There was Jesus Ramos defeating Joey Spencer via 7th round TKO. And then in controversial standing, Chris Colbert defeated Jose Venezuela via unanimous decision, in which both fighters felt they won. I didn't see the highlights for this, Danny, but speaking of a heartfelt match in which the fighters really wanted to win and were angsty, Venezuela knocked down Colbert in the first round, which made him look really good, but I think doing some research and look at the highlights, Venezuela kind of backed off a bit, but I think also Colbert didn't also really swing at him a lot, in which Venezuela was very upset that the decision did not go his way, in which Colbert tried to shake his hand, and Venezuela was not having it, and he's like, dude, I won. He's like, no, you didn't. Why are you being a sore loser? He's like, dude, look at me and tell me I won. He's like, no, you didn't. Look at me, I won. And then he was like, they just kind of were like, just looking at each other, and Venezuela couldn't believe it. And then I forgot what happened, but then they started backing them up because they were getting too close to each other. In which Colbert then started to stick his tongue out and hold his medal up in the air and say, "No, you didn't win. I won." So, yeah, that was probably the most interesting part of that whole card.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see the undercards, but that's interesting. Wow, he really middle school and kindergarten his ass.
Well, yeah, but also then he was like, "Don't be a sore loser," but then he started being the sore winner. I was like, "Bruh,
that's so funny.
This is ridiculous." But yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Is there anything else boxing related you would like to say before we move on to our next topic?
I got a question for you. Who do you think is going to win the Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis fight? Tank versus Garcia.
Gervonta Davis.
Ooh, that's crazy. I think it's the same. I agree with you. I think I think it's the same. It's kind of a mirror of this fight. Ryan Garcia needs to win by knockout. Why? If he doesn't, he basically loses. It's just the optics of it. Tank is the rising star. It feels like he's the underdog. Garcia's, he's the pretty boy, perfect guy, perfect fighter. Oh, well, that's the image. I'm not saying he is. That's just the image that he presents. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, I think it's Davis.
Oh, okay then. More boxing news by Danny Tan. But is that all for today?
That's it.
All right, moving on now to our next topic. Danny, did you happen to watch any soccer in the last 24 hours?
I watched exactly one clip that was handed to me by a secret agent.
How long was that one clip?
1 minute and 4 seconds long, exactly.
Wonderful. And yes, moving on, some U.S. men's national team news. There were some CONCACAF Nations League games that happened over the weekend. Starting on, I think, Thursday. I'm forgetting now. But the U.S. men's national team played 2 games. They played one game at Grenada, and they played a game here in the U.S. in Orlando against El Salvador, in which they were victorious in both games. Starting off, I'll go over the Grenada game, in which the team routed Grenada 7-1 to move atop Group D of CONCACAF Nations League A on this past Friday night at Cariani James Stadium. Weston McKennie and Ricardo Pepi each scored twice, with Christian Pulisic being involved in 5 goals. I know he had a goal and 2 assists, including his scoring of his own, which a little bit of an easy goal. We also had Brandon Aronson and Alex Zendejas also tallying a goal, as the U.S. snapped a 9-game away winless streak in the emphatic fashion, setting the team record for the most goals in a road match. The win also secures the U.S. a top 2 finish in the group and the corresponding berth in the 2023 CONCACAF Gold Cup. On the night, where the starting lineup featured 7 players from the 2022 World Cup team, 4 players also earned their first. Starting defender Austin Trusty and substitute Tyler Booth made their USM men's team's debut, while Zendejas and Johnny Cardoso became cap-tied by appearing in the first official tournament match. They wasted little time getting the U.S. on the board, with Pulisic setting up the first goal after 4 minutes with a nice cross that Pepi headed home. But I thought it was a pretty good game, considering that the U.S. plays terribly away from home soil. Considering that, they've had games in Panama. There was the El Salvador game last year or a couple years ago, and that mud bath of a game that we saw Musa sliding across the field, looking at his hands like, "Lord help me, I am covered in mud." But it was it's always going to be a good performance, considering that the team scored 7 goals. I think Grenada scored their lone goal after the second or the third one, which it was like, okay, like, ooh, watch out, like. But then after like the second half, they started just like pouring it on. But in my opinion, I think the game really started going when Zendejas was out there, and once he got his goal, it felt like he was he was on a hat trick almost, and he just kept shooting and shooting, and it was like, wow, like, look at this guy, like, he's actually like doing a great job, and being a threat, in which the U.S. kind of hasn't really had, considering we have Pulisic, McKennie, who could fly through the air, You have Anthony Robinson, who's really pretty good with his feet, in my opinion. Getting the ball on the defensive side. But yeah, I thought it was a good game. So Danny, what did you think about this USA Grenada game?
Wow, what a great game! Shout out to I have one guy out there in Grenada. I doubt he's listening to this, but you know who you are, Big D. You know who you is. Yeah, I mean, what a dominant game by the U.S., huh?
No, yeah, I mean, wait, you have a friend in Grenada? Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
Okay,
right?
Now I know who you're talking
about.
Yeah, now I just clicked.
Yeah.
I'm like, who in the hell? Okay, I know who you are too. If somehow you listen to this, hi.
Yeah.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Big D studying the big V. I know how it sounds, but that's funny as fuck. So, you know who you are if you're listening.
You're a fool. Yeah, shout out to the homie. But, going back to what I was saying, I'm just glad the U.S. didn't really play down to their level. They just kind of did their thing. They got to their spots. They were able to, just put the ball in the back of the net. I wouldn't say it was like the most beautiful thing, but they were threatening. I really did. I'm gonna be on this high horse for a while. Zendejas really caught my eye. I think Austin Trusty and Taylor Booth, who, like I said, finally got to wear the blue, not the red, white, and blue, the blue and camo for the first time, and it looked pretty well. But I'm glad to see also Christian Pulisic kind of playing well, because, a lot of people are saying, how can we never get this Christian Pulisic at Chelsea? Well, I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's a different system, different community, different chemistry, and everything. But yeah, I think the boys did a really good job. Danny, do you think they did a good job?
Of course, boys in blue, they always do good. Well, historically they have struggled in CONCACAF, but
specifically away, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they did really well. What a dominant game. Speaking of a dominant game, the U.S. versus El Salvador.
Hey, we're not there yet.
Oh, what?
What? Why are you moving on so fast?
I'm trying to move.
Why are you moving so quick?
Oh, my bad.
What are you doing?
Okay, my bad.
I was going to mention that their interim head coach, Anthony Hudson, did a really good job with the Grenada and I guess the El Salvador game, because currently they're without head coach, anybody. So I think he's done a good job bringing in a lot of experience, but also bringing in a lot of the young people. Zendejas was able to play in those early January camp games against Serbia and Colombia, which probably served them well, considering those were two inexperienced teams. Now you got like more experience on the field. You got to play with more first team players, which was good for him. You got people that haven't even playing with the first team. So I feel like I hope it would just be him kind of pulling the strings, because I feel like even though he's an interim, like, he's somewhat doing something productive. Like, hey, I'm going to play all the young guys. I'm going to bring in some of the young guys this time around and hope for the best and that they get some experience, because if not, what are you going to do? Like, the Olympics aren't coming around for a bit. They're certainly not going to play in the Gold Cup because they still haven't gotten enough experience. You're playing semi-competitive games in the CNL. So with these wins now, hopefully, and the experience, they kind of carry that with them in the rest of their national career. But moving on now, as Danny was so forced trying to do, the U.S. men's national team a couple days later did play their second game against El Salvador. In which, Danny, do you want to take that now, or do you want me to continue?
Go ahead, run with your stuff, man. Come on.
All right. Some excellent notes that I took down from the U.S. Soccer Federation's website. The U.S. men's national team secured a return to the CONCACAF Nations League Final Four with a 1-0 win against El Salvador this past Monday night at Exploria Stadium in Orlando, Florida. Ricardo Pepe's third goal in 2 games, which came 2 minutes after he entered the match in the second half, was the difference as the USA finished atop Group D with 10 points. The win extended the USA's undefeated streak against El Salvador to 22 straight games. Having won the inaugural CNL in 2021, the USA will return to the 2022-2023 semifinals, which we played Thursday, June 15 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada.
You got it.
Mexico has also clinched a semifinal berth after winning Group A with 8 points. The other semifinalists will be decided between Costa Rica and Panama, who meet for the top spot in Group B, and Canada, hosting Honduras, with Group C on the line. The group winner with the most points will face the 4th-ranked team, and the 2nd and 3rd-ranked teams will meet in the other semifinal. So, Danny, what did you think about Ricardo Pepi's goal, the lone goal that they scored?
What a kick ahead. You know, he had a lot of pressure on him, and a lot of physicality from the other guy in El Salvador, to push him out of the way. But, I mean, just a straight kick right over the goalie's hand. What a goal. You know, controlled, beautiful.
I would say it was a little bit of a chip shot because, it was very, very straight and narrow.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Also, just to let you know, Danny, this man, Ricardo Pepi, was left off the World Cup roster.
He's got something to prove.
Yeah, with the prior head coach, Greg Berhalter, Greg, I guess, was making the rounds, calling everybody who made it, who didn't make it. And, according to Ricardo Pepi, when Greg came to call him and said, "Hey, you're not going," he immediately hung up on him.
Yeah, I would do that too.
Kind of unprofessional, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't picked to represent your nation, but you think that you're one of the best guys out there, would you not be disrespected and kind of spit on by not being included in that team?
I mean, the U.S. struggled to score with the striker anyway, anytime. They haven't had a real striker in a while.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Pepe's been showing up, so maybe Gold Cup, Nations League, he's our number one guy.
Oh, yeah.
If not, he's going to have to go up against, I think it's Sargent, and then he got to go up against Jesus Ferreira. And then I know the guy that I think he came in for was Daryl DK, who was struggling out there too. But those are all the guys I just named are decent strikers. The only problem is that I think the service isn't all there either. But I think guys like Sargent, guys like Ferreira haven't been capitalizing on their chances either. So we'll just have to wait and see when Gold Cup and Nations League comes around again.
Yeah.
To see who's in charge of the national team as well. But whoever it is, they have a good handful of players to pick on to see who's gonna lead the striking role.
Well.
But going a little bit more in depth into the game, I don't know if you know this, Dang, but they started out like really slow. I want to say the U.S. had the ball most of the time, but to me the problem is that like they weren't doing much with it. Like there was a lot of ball handling, but there was no executing like in the attacking third in regards to they would get the ball, get into the penalty area, and then do nothing with it. So it's kind of like a lot of possession based with both sides of the teams. Like even when El Salvador had the ball, I feel like they probably had the more threatening chances, which was not many, probably like 2 or 3, in which the U.S. probably had 1 or 2. And you saw Gio Reyna trying to run around with the ball. I think Anthony Hudson, the interim head coach, told him, do your thing and kind of just hold and run with the ball. Pulisic kind of did the same thing as well. You were just hoping for Daryl DK to kind of find the back of the net, considering he was playing at one of his old stomping grounds in Orlando, Florida, where Orlando City plays right now. But it just never came. And then in the second half, it's like they had a lot of fire lit under their asses or something, because they were just coming out swinging. With Zendejas out there, he was taking shots. I really like that as well. He made himself a threat, considering I'm pretty sure this Salvadorian team would focus on Pulisic, focus on McKennie, focus on Dest or McKennie, making sure they don't get the ball. Ben Zendejas was just getting into the right spots and dribbling everywhere. And then, you kind of saw El Salvador getting less and less chances. I mean, they have Tim Ream, who arguably is our best defender right now, in my opinion. You could probably say maybe even Robinson or Anthony Robinson or Miles Robinson might be contesting for that position. Maybe even McKennie, more or less a two-way player, but I think Reams probably our better defender, or captain in the back line when like Zimmerman's not there, unless they're tag teaming. But yeah, I thought it was a good showing in that second half because they were pressuring them super duper hard. I was like, damn, like who the fuck are these guys? Like where have you guys been the past 2 games? I'm like, you guys aren't playing this for the next 40 minutes. You guys gotta play us this all the time, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm proud that they were able to kind of turn it around. And yeah, when that Ricardo Pepi goal came in, I was like, damn, like they actually did a really good goal. I mean, you saw the highlight. It was just a through ball right to Pepi, and you just kind of dinked it over the goalie.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure you could hear the piano or the anvil fall off the back of his truck, figuratively speaking, you know?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like I said, like he didn't get called into the World Cup roster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think any of his like other competition was called in. I think it was just him and Daryl DK that got called in. I don't recall, but unless it was one of the new guys, but I highly doubt they would put in the new guy over Pepi, who hasn't really gotten a chance either. He wasn't called into the January camps as well, which I mean their January camps are just for A, guys that don't get called in a lot, B, youth players that haven't had any type of work with the U.S. men's national team yet. So I don't know, excellent all-around work in that second 45, because when they went into halftime 0-0, I was a little worried. I was like, there's no way that these guys are going to get the jump on them, considering we're playing on home soil. The U.S. rarely loses on home soil in CONCACAF. So, but yeah, as I think an ice cream man walks past our house.
It's the elotero.
Is it elote man?
Yeah, it's the elotero. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's one of our friends' moms. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure.
You want to get some ice cream?
Kind of want an elote, but...
Do they have raspados?
They do have raspado.
Oh,
yeah.
What's your favorite raspado
they have
flavor?
vanilla and... it's not chocolate, what's the other one? Forget. Coconut.
Oh, I don't like coconut.
Oh, okay. Well, you have vanilla.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I'm more of a fresa person.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Sometimes blueberry or bubblegum,
Ooh.
whatever the blue one is.
Blue raspberry?
Is that what it is?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Robert.
I know.
Do you have any more?
Are we at a soccer game? Is that why we're hearing a horn? I don't know if anybody can hear it. We might just be talking and no one can hear it, but...
Yeah, maybe. Man.
Yeah. Got a little sidetracked, but it's okay.
Yeah, let's get a vuvuzela in the back. That's how we know.
I used to have a vuvuzela. My grandpa bought it for me.
Yeah?
I think I still have it. I might throw it away because it was like plasticky.
Oh, man. Could have been a trumpet player or a trombone player.
My grandpa got it for me like in middle school. I took it in high school a few times.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
for like our spirit days.
What color was it? Blue?
It was red.
Red.
Even though our class color was green.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
It's okay. Sorry, we got sidetracked a little bit there, but yeah, I'm proud that they're going to be playing in Gold Cup. I'm looking forward to CNL, considering that they won it previously against Mexico in that very dramatic overtime, extra time game. So yeah, Danny, will you be joining me when they play in Gold Cup and CNL in the summer?
Yes, I will. I'll be watching at a watch party or
you could just come to my house.
Yeah,
or I can go to your house.
Yeah, sounds good.
I know you have a big TV.
Yeah, sounds fun. Sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Or we could go to the local pub.
Yep. Yeah, the local pub. Watch a little footy. Yeah, like they do.
I love that you just said that. Watch a little footy.
Well, anyway, do you have any last thoughts on U.S. men's national team?
Not much. I just hope that the federation does solidify who's going to be coaching the team when these tournaments come around. Because usually what you don't want is like for the Gold Cup teams to be B and C teams. Even though the Gold Cup, they do allow for you to, after the group stage, they allow you to change out players after the group stage. So let's say I have Danny Tan playing my winger and he's not doing a good job. I could send him home and call in a new guy. So That's
like a team sub, you're saying?
Yeah, but like, so you're not playing no more. Like you go home.
Yeah, I go home and you bring in another guy.
Yeah.
Well, so not a sub within the game, but a teammate sub.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, I mean, if you're not doing it,
yeah,
get out of here.
Yeah, just bench warming.
Yeah, basically. But it's gonna be gonna be interesting how to see how they handle it, because they at times have sent B and C teams, because that's what the rest of the local competition does. But this Gold Cup will be interesting because I think the Gold Cup's trying to invite more than just CONCACAF regional teams. They're looking to invite Asian Federation, European, UEFA, whoever really. So it's going to be a fun time with the U.S. getting real competition. And then in CNL, whoever they have to face Mexico, what did I say, Costa Rica or Panama, Canada, maybe in Honduras, who has given them a hard time in the past. But yeah, I'm excited to see where the U.S. goes from here now. Dan, do you have anything else to add?
No, sir.
Your little bit of foodie knowledge?
No, not at all. Go USA. That's all I got to say.
Go USA. But yeah, I think that's everything I have. I'm trying to stem. No, I think that's it really.
Yeah.
Just excited to see where this goes, and hopefully you do good in the summer when it comes around.
Oh yeah, go USA.
Yeah, go USA. But yeah, I think we're gonna start moving on now in a bit. In which, Danny, do you have anything prepared?
Yes, sir. I've got. No, there hasn't been a lot of NBA news, but there's been a lot of little stories all around.
We are going into the warm up now, in which Danny will be taking over for the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Yep.
We have whip around. So Danny, the floor is now yours.
So there's a handful of stories to walk you around the league. Here, join me. Take my hand, Robert. Let me show you the world. There, Robert's extending his hand. I've grabbed it.
Oh yeah, we're in person.
It's a little sticky. You should wash your hands more. Okay. Well, just in NBA standing news, in general, things really haven't shaken up too much. I guess the biggest news in the West is the Dallas Mavericks are now outside of the play-in. They're on the outside looking in, sitting at 11, meaning that the Kyrie trade is the worst trade that happened during the deadline. They've hedged all their bets on Kyrie, hoping that offense with a lack of defense. They traded literally for one of the best offensive guys in the league, and without to show for it, they went from 6th place to 11th. Also in the West, Sunday, LeBron James returned off of his ankle injury, but he returned to a loss. Who else? Kevin Durant is scheduled to return on Wednesday, where the Suns will play the Timberwolves, which I think would be an easy win for the Suns, with Kevin Durant even on restricted minutes. I guess the last story in the West is that the Trailblazers have decided they don't want to try for the playoffs anymore. They've benched Damian Lillard. They've decided to tank because they think that it's too much strain to have Dame. Even if they make it in the playoffs, they're probably looking at an early first-round exit anyway. So the Blazers are in tank mode, even though they're nowhere near the bottom 3 teams in the league. And I think that does it all for the West. One last thing. Luka Doncic did in Mavs news, Luka Doncic did a money gesture sign to the ref where he thought that there was a no call, and he got fined $35,000. Talking about reffing, that's kind of a non-story. There was a tight game against the Warriors where the refs called for, I think they were calling for Mavs ball on the other side of the court, but then they reversed it without telling the players, handed the ball to the Warriors at the bottom at the baseline, and the Warriors just passed it in, laid it in for 2, and the Mavs ended up losing by 2 that game. I think Mark Cuban had protested, and he submitted an official overturn or appeal for that game, and I don't know where that's sitting at, but we'll see where that goes. It's a no.
I think it got denied.
I'm hearing that it's a no from Robert. But in that game, I think Luka was issued a technical, which would have disqualified him for Monday's game, but it was reversed, so he was able to play on Monday, and they ended up winning against the Charlotte Hornets. I think that's all the news in the West. In the East, we've got a little bit more rumblings about Jaylen Brown possibly leaving at the end of the season, leaving his Celtics home behind, and his brother in arms, I should say, Jason Tatum. We've got a little bit of a run for the Chicago Bulls, finally, after nearly 60, 70 games. They decided to play some basketball, get it together. They're going on a little bit of a run, knocking out the Washington Wizards from the play-in.
They also beat the Lakers the other day.
Yes, they did. Spoiling LeBron's return. And I believe they play in a back-to-back again tomorrow. Tomorrow. The second part of a back-to-back.
Patrick Beverley told LeBron James he's too small for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the favorite taunt nowadays in the league. Finish your play, put your hand near the ground. Everyone's too small. You know, everybody in the league 6 feet plus. Everybody's too small apparently. There's a handful of teams that have now, since last week, have clinched their playoff positions. In the East, that includes number 1, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Celtics, Sixers, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. In the West, I believe the only 2 teams that have clinched are the Denver Nuggets and the Memphis Grizzlies. Yep, that's it. And Sacramento Kings are in 3rd, but it's close. If they lose all of their games and a handful of teams under them win, they could be knocked into the play-in and not clinch a spot. But I think tonight, is it tonight? The Kings play...
As of this recording?
As of this recording, no, it is not tonight. It is tomorrow night, Wednesday night.
They play the Blazers.
They play the Blazers. I think if they win against the Blazers, they clinch their playoff spot.
I mean, they're like 5 games. They have 5 more wins than the next team under them.
Is what I believe. Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Because I think that'll put them 6 games, and I don't think anyone underneath, if they win, would knock them out. In Kings news, Keegan Murray is 3 3-pointers away from the all-time 3-pointers made in a rookie season record. So shout out to Keegan Murray. You can hit it. Also, I guess in my final news, NBA-wise, unfortunately, I have lost my fantasy basketball league. I ended up 2nd, and I didn't win the first place. So,
wait, why is it over?
I mean, it's over. We have to end before the playoffs start. And I think there's some teams some leagues that run it all along, like they run right up until playoffs start. But I think this is a good time. I like the way that our league does it. This is a good time for people to stop because, like we talked about just now, this is when teams decide to tank and to rest their star guys like Dame. He's out. So, I kind of like it. I think it's 6 weeks out from the playoffs beginning or something like that. Is it 6 weeks? No. The playoffs start on the 15th, so we are...
Of April, right?
Yeah, of April. So we are about 2 weeks out, almost 3 weeks from playoffs. So I think it's a good time to end it. Just so that if you have one of the, like Dame is your star guy, and all of a sudden the team starts to tank, you're going to lose every matchup from then on. It kind of spoils the fun. But yeah, that's all I got in NBA news. Robert, what do you think?
That's a very unfortunate tale that you finished 2nd place, but we're glad you almost made it. It's okay, Danny. You'll make it next time. Maybe you guys will do like a playoff one or something. Who knows? Yeah,
I mean, now I'm just rooting for my Hawks to make it in the play-in, probably exit first round, maybe second round. In the East, I would like the Sixers to make it to the finals. Get your Benavidez flowers like I talked about last time. And in the West, guess I gotta root for the Lakers. I mean, there's nothing else to root for. Just a miracle run, I guess.
There is some news I could tell you. Ben Simmons is out for the season with the Nets. They're shutting him down. What do you think about that?
Yes, I believe on Friday it was announced that he had a pinched nerve in his back. And it sounds like he's going to go into surgery, which would put him out for probably the entirety of next season. But, I mean, we'll see. Back surgery, typically puts you out for a while. But, I mean, we'll see what it is. Maybe just with rehab or whatnot, he's able to play most of the season next year. But, yeah, I mean, that sucks for Ben Simmons. I mean, it wasn't like he was on like a meteoric rise back to the hype that he was at previously, but it's never fun seeing any players hurt in the NBA. But man, I hope he gets better. That sucks for him.
That does suck. I'm like, you're telling me this, like, dude, he out for the whole season? Like, damn, like, for next year, bro, we just barely finished this year.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, but. It is what it is. If I were Ben Simmons too, I would elect to get the surgery and stay out for, the next season. Keep your longevity. He'll be in the league for quite a while. So I mean, hopefully, his health trends upwards. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Have you seen? There's like a Instagram reel, TikTok going around when Kobe tore his what was the thing he tore in his ankle?
His Achilles.
His Achilles, and he was trying to tell the doctor or their health guy on the bench, like, can I stretch it out? Can I tape it up?
Yeah, I mean,
can I just ice it real quick?
It's a whole different mentality, that Mamba mentality, man.
Yeah, and the guy was like telling me, was like, every time Kobe would suggest something, he's like, it's not gonna work that way. No. That's not how this works.
Yeah, I mean,
to the point, he's like, you can shoot those free throws right now, but you're done.
It's a sad thing, especially for a player who wants so much and puts his body on the line every day, like Kobe did. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, Ben Simmons, like, he didn't show that same, perseverance and drive to finish out games and whatnot. But hopefully he gets to that level. I mean, it's hard to see anybody with his talent fall so far to be, not to be harsh, but he's the laughingstock of the Brooklyn Nets right now. I mean, who else on the Brooklyn Nets do you think is bad?
James Harden.
James Harden is on the 76ers.
I know, I'm kidding.
But, I mean, a lot of guys with upside are on the Nets, Mikal Bridges is really popping off. Cam Johnson popping off. Dinwiddie has a couple of good games. I mean, in the Nets, FYI, if someone from the Nets organization listen to this, which I highly doubt, you need to play Cam Thomas more. If not, you need to trade his ass because he is too good of a scorer to be on a team that doesn't give him minutes. I think for like a 5-week stretch, he didn't play any games or he played like garbage time minutes. And then when he was given above 20 minutes, he dropped 40, another 40 piece. Like, come on, man. You need to give this guy some minutes. This is insane. Trade him to the Pistons even. He's got to get some minutes in there, but don't stop me on the Nets. I think that's all I got, really.
Alrighty then. That was NBA, the warm-up with Danny Tan with his NBA whip-around news. Thank you, Danny. And if that's everything, we're moving on to the greatest segment of our programming on Rambling Runoff, the rundown. So I hope you guys are all buckled up and ready, in which we got a lot to talk about. Final Four update. We have San Diego State versus Florida Atlantic University at 6 p.m. Eastern. And we have Miami versus UConn at 8 p.m. Eastern. These games will both be on April 1st on CBS. No jokes. April 1st on CBS. Danny, who do you got going to the final?
From these four, I'm going to take San Diego State versus UConn in the final.
Yeah?
Yep. What do you got?
I'm going to go San Diego State, but give me the U. Miami University.
Okay. All right.
And then I got
who do you have
the
taking
U.
it all? The U taking it all.
Miami University taking it all.
Wow. You know
Who
what?
you got?
I'm going to root for California. San Diego State takes it home. Brings it home to California.
All right. I mean, we'll see where this goes next week, and we'll kind of rehash our picks again if possible. But if not, we'll put it out on the Twitters and the Instagrams, and
Oh, you'll see it everywhere. I'm sure.
Right. You'll see what's up. But Danny did lose our bet, so you gotta take a shot. So what is it? You pay and I pick?
Yeah, you pick, I take it, and I'll pay for it.
All right. Just to clarify, what's like the shot you don't like taking? What's
I'll take whatever you give me.
Come on, fool.
What? I will take everything.
You're just like, ooh.
Oh man, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff. I've had some disgusting alcohol.
I mean, because I could just give you like Hennessy, the honey flavor Hennessy. I mean,
honey flavor Hennessy is not that good, but I mean, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it.
All right. Well, we'll see when we go out.
Yeah.
I would like to record this and post it on our socials.
Okay. Come on, man.
So we can have more content.
Well, I'm a public working man. You know, put me on blast like that. That's all good. No one's gonna see it.
That was the point of this.
Yeah. It's all good. You'll see it on Instagram story.
Except for our few friends and family that follow our.
Yeah. I mean, no one's gonna see it on the Instagram. Come on. Yeah. Let's do it. Just don't tag me. You can't tag me, man. Come on.
I do tag you. I tag you like on all our posts.
I know, but you can't tag me in a drinking post.
Yeah, I can.
Come on. You can't tag me in that. What if I become a public service worker later on?
Oh my.
Come on, man. Think about my future.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna get mad you took a shot?
Yeah. Yes. That could disqualify me from like one candidate.
Oh, whatever.
No. Just imagine in the future, I'm one step away from managing LADWP, and they say, right before we hire this guy, let's do a quick Google search. Instagram pops up. It's a post, not a story. They look at it. What is he doing? He's drinking alcohol in public. No shame. All right, we'll go with number 2. Who's clean on socials? Come on, man. Don't do this to me.
They're going to see it and be like, hey, this fool.
This fool knows how to get down?
Yeah, he knows.
I trust him with my water, power, schematics, and all that other shit. Come on now. That's crazy.
Okay, fool. We're not saying you're... Okay, I think you're just being dramatic. When no one's saying you're alcoholic, Danny. What the hell are you talking about?
No. I'm just saying.
You're a fool.
All right, come on, man. What if I decided to run for president? Think about my future, Robert.
A lot of our presidents... Okay, I don't want to be political, but a lot of our presidents have done a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah.
People call them out on.
But, in today's social media game...
Oh, my goodness.
You know what it is. They
dig
up
John
everything.
Morant.
Oh, okay. Don't call me John Morant in this bitch. Come on, man.
That's the way you're acting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm preventing a John Morant situation.
You're being very childish.
No, shut up. You're being childish. I'm about to stick my tongue out at you. Hold on my medal. Hold on my belt.
But...
Damn. All right. Well, what you got next in the rundown, Robert?
In the rundown, mission, I forgot to mention this last week, but it's coming up very fast as of this recording. MLB opening day. All 30 teams will play in 15 games on Thursday, March 30th, with 2 matchups kicking off the fun in the early afternoon. We got the Giants and the Yankees. Then we got the Braves against the Nationals. The former is one of the 3 interleague contests on Thursday, in addition to the 9 individual matchups that will take place. The reigning champion Astros, featuring new member Jose Abreu, opening their season against the White Sox, the 2020 MVP's former team, and you catch that on ESPN. Other interesting matchups that caught my eye, 1:05 p.m., we got San Francisco Giants at I already said that. Giants and the Yanks. The pitching matchup, Logan Webb versus Garrett Cole. That should be a doozy. 2:10 p.m., we got the Baltimore Orioles at the Boston Red Sox. The pitching matchup is Kyle Gibson going up against Corey Kluber. Then in the nightcap, we got at 10:10 p.m. or 7 if you're in the West Coast, Arizona Diamondbacks at the Los Angeles Dodgers. The pitching matchup, we got Zach Gallen going up against the Mexican sensation Julio Urias. But yeah, Danny, are you excited for baseball this season?
Hell yeah. I'm excited. Someone needs to finally take those goddamn Houston Astros down a notch. Anybody.
Yeah, the Dodgers.
Yeah. I mean, do you really believe the Dodgers after all that personnel change?
I don't know. Yeah, they've had a lot of people come and go. So
yeah.
Hopefully they could turn it around, but we'll see. Baseball is a random sport. You can hit the curve, or you can't hit the curve.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm rooting for the Dodgers, home team.
Yeah.
But, as long as the Astros don't win, I think I'm good.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, those cheating bastards.
Moving on now to some more footy in the NWSL, which also kicked off this weekend. Going over some of the stat lines, we had North Carolina defeating Kansas City 1-0. San Diego at Snapdragon Stadium defeating the Chicago Red Stars 3-2. Then on Sunday, we had Washington defeating OL Reign 1-0. Portland putting the stamp on things, winning 4-0 over Orlando. Houston and Louisville ended 0-0. And then Gotham defeated Angel City 2-1. So it was a good weekend for the girls, considering I did see that they were promoting that a lot of people went out to these games. Let me see if I could pull up some of the attendance numbers. Danny, are you ready to go see some Angel City football or what?
I'm out there.
At the Angel City game, they had a packed house of 22,000.
Jesus.
And San Diego, a new NWSL opening day record in San Diego for the I think it's called the Wave. 30,854 spectators.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, this is at Snapdragon,
wow,
which is
that's awesome.
The new stadium they just built out there. And then let me see, who else do we have? Do we have any other big numbers? We had 11,000 for the Washington Spirit and OL Reign game. I think that they play at DC United Stadium. I think it's Audi Field, I believe it's called. But yeah, it's a good opening weekend for the girls out there in the National Women's Soccer League. So shout out to the girls out there.
The ladies, please, Robert, show a little respect. Come on, there's a girl
woman.
woman.
Don't even watch soccer.
Whoa.
Don't even check me. Don't even start, bro.
Come on.
You just busted my balls because you lost the bet.
Yeah. No, I got to rib you a little bit.
Yeah, just a tad. Coming up very, very soon as well, the United States Football League kicks off April 15, 2023. So if you're ready for that, make sure you go onto their socials and check in because the league's already about to start because I'm already losing my time either. When you were saying that the playoffs are starting for the NBA, I'm like, wait, April? I'm like, that's next month. Yeah, it's like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, April starts in like 4 days.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm tripping.
Where does the time go?
Flew by.
Come on. It's crazy.
Speaking about flying by, in NASCAR news, Tyler Reddick won the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Doing some research and looking at some of the highlights, it was a pretty interesting race considering in the Circus of America, or COTA as they call it, there's like a blind left turn coming out of the start. The restarts were all kind of jank, and a lot of the drivers were kind of basically bumper car, what would you call go-karting their way around the track, kind of bump and go, and some people can deal it, but they can't take it, which is kind of what happened here, and Tyler Reddick took the win. Coming up Sunday, April 2nd, to 3:30 p.m. Eastern, next up for the NASCAR series, they got the Toyota Owners 400, which will be taking place in Richmond, Virginia, at Richmond Raceway. You catch that race on FS1. And some pigskin in NFL. I know I mentioned the draft last week, which is now officially 1 month away and will be taking place in Kansas City, Missouri. You catch on ESPN, ABC, and NFL Network. Also announced recently, the NFL draft for 2024 will be taking place in April from the 25th to the 27th in Detroit, Michigan. So yeah, they already announced next year's draft location. And wrapping up the rundown, one of my favorite things to talk about, very briefly though, I just want to note it because it's also taking place in April. The American Ultimate Disc League will be opening up shop next month, or 1 month away now, until the opening pool, and will be taking place April 28th, 2023. So yeah, that is everything. Do you have anything else to add in the rundown, Danny?
Nope. Shout out to MKBHD, the champ.
Yeah, let's see if the New York Empire can go back to back.
Yeah. No, that's all I got. You ran through everything.
All right, for sure. And I guess I'll go into our outro now.
Ooh, can I do it?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you guys for listening to the Rambling Runoff this week. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit like, subscribe, hit that bell notification to know whenever we post a new video. We typically try to post on Wednesdays. If you're listening on Spotify, please give us a follow. Rate us 5 stars. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Anchor, any and all of the above, please rate, review us 5 stars. Leave something in the comments. Even if it's 1 star on Apple, leave something in the comments. It helps. If you want to find us on all the other socials, you can find us on Twitter at Rambling Runoff and on Instagram also at Rambling Runoff. And we also post on TikTok.
Sometimes.
So find us where you can. Leave a comment. Anything and everything we talked about in this episode. If you agree, disagree, like, dislike, say something funny. I don't know. If you made it this far in the episode, leave a apple emoji. I don't know. Leave an apple, a banana, and we'll know that you're listening to the entire episode all the way to the end.
Well, thank you. And also, we're now on Amazon Music for podcasters.
That's right. And that's it. Anchor is now Spotify for podcasters.
Yes.
You can find us there. That's it. Thank you guys for listening. I'm Danny Tan. And he's Robert Rios, host of Rambling Runoff. See you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.